Gastronomy sector and climate change. The rapid growth of the gastronomic sector has led to an increase in food production and distribution, and thus their impact on the climate and environment. As food production and agriculture contribute approximately 25% of global atmospheric greenhouse gas emissions, the environmental impact of the food sector is becoming a global priority issue. The conversion of natural habitats and forests into agricultural land has led to the loss of biodiversity and the degradation of ecosystems. Water is an essential resource for food production and is used at various stages of the food chain, including irrigation, washing, and processing. The production of certain foods, such as meat and dairy products, requires large amounts of water, and this has led to excessive extraction and degradation of water resources in some areas. Large amounts of energy are used to produce meat and dairy products and create significant greenhouse gas emissions. Food is lost or wasted along the whole food supply chain, on the farm, in processing and manufacture, in shops, in restaurants, and in households. In the current linear economy model, which follows the take, use, dispose model, resources are exploited, converted into products, used, and then disposed of as waste, leading to an unsustainable cycle of depletion and waste. One of the important principles of the circular economy is the elimination of waste. Materials and resources are used for long as possible, and their value is retained by creating a closed system that encourages the regeneration of natural resources. Another important aspect of the circular economy is the promotion of local and regional economies. By supplying materials and products locally, companies can reduce the carbon footprint associated with transportation and distribution, which can support local community efforts and promote economic development. One of the key aspects of the circular economy in the gastronomy sector is the reduction of food waste. According to estimates, huge amounts of food end up as waste every year. The principles of reuse and recycling can be applied in food production. This includes using agricultural waste as compost, recycling packaging, and properly managing food waste to create valuable resources. The circular economy fosters sustainable practices in agriculture. This includes using fewer pesticides and artificial fertilizers and promoting organic farming. Sustainable agriculture also encompasses proper soil management to preserve fertility and biodiversity. Encouraging locally grown food reduces the need for long food transport and reduces transport-related greenhouse gas emissions. It also supports local farmers and helps preserve rural communities. Technological progress can support the circular economy in food production. For example, smart agriculture uses sensors and data to effectively manage resources such as water and energy. Educating stakeholders in the food sector, including farmers, food producers, and consumers, is key to adopting circular practices. Awareness of the importance of sustainability and reducing the negative impact on the environment can drive changes in behavior and business. Given the growing interest in alternative protein sources, food production can be directed toward plant-based protein sources such as beans, lentils, and soybeans, thus reducing the need for intensive livestock farming that has a high ecological footprint. Food preparation also has a noticeable impact on climate change. For example, using electricity to heat and cook food contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, as well as the production of food packaging and the disposal of food waste. In recent years, the concept of food kilometers has emerged, and it refers to the distance that food travels from the place of production to the end consumer. The longer the distance the food travels, the greater the carbon emissions from transport. In addition to carbon emissions, food production and transport can have other negative environmental impacts, such as fertilizer and pesticide use, depletion of water resources, and biodiversity loss. How to reduce the ecological footprint of the gastronomic sector. Reducing portion sizes and using excess food in creative ways, including different food in new dishes or donating to food banks, composing food waste. By reducing the consumption of meat and dairy products, we can significantly reduce the impact of our food choices on the environment. The livestock industry is responsible for a significant share of greenhouse gas emissions, with cows and other ruminant animals producing large amounts of methane, which is responsible for about 16% of global greenhouse gas emissions. A plant-based diet can provide all the necessary nutrients for a healthy diet, and there are many tasty and nutritious plant-based alternatives available for those who want to reduce their consumption of meat and dairy products. Much of these greenhouse emissions in agriculture come from the use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides and affect soil health, water pollution, and biodiversity loss. Agriculture is a water-intensive industry, and an inefficient use of water resources can lead to water scarcity and increased greenhouse gas emissions. By applying effective irrigation techniques, reducing water waste, and promoting water-saving technologies, the agricultural sector can significantly reduce its environmental impact. Agroforestry is an agricultural practice that involves growing trees along with existing crops and livestock. It has been shown to be an effective way to sequester carbon, promote biodiversity, and improve soil health. Encouraging the use of sustainable packaging and reducing waste through recycling, reduction of food kilometers, and promotion of local food producers. Test your knowledge. What are the benefits of using plant foods in the food system? A. Increasing the carbon footprint. B. Decrease of greenhouse gas emissions. C. Increasing the need for food preservation. D. Increasing costs of breeding domestic animals. B. Decrease of greenhouse gas emissions. How does adopting circular economy practices help reduce the environmental impact of the food industry? A. Reducing food waste and reusing resources. B. By increasing the purchase of locally grown food. C. Reducing the use of fossil fuels for food production. D. By increasing the exploitation of natural resources. A. Reducing food waste and reusing resources. Why is it important to promote locally grown food in a circular economy? A. To support long-distance distribution chains. B. To reduce the need for long transport of food and reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. C. To increase the exploitation of natural resources. D. To increase the use of pesticides and artificial fertilizers. B. To reduce the need for long transport of food and the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. What are food miles? A. The distance the food travels from the place of production to the final consumer. B. Total amount of food thrown away during production. C. Average energy consumption required to cook food. A. The distance the food travels from the place of production to the final consumer. For additional information, visit our website climatecookbook.eu. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Climate Cookbook/Erasmus Plus project support of vocational education and training in gastronomic sector towards CO2 neutral kitchen.